everyone, Emily back with challenge 2 of NTNA season 8. This week our challenge is called CND Couture. We were asked to create a set of 10 nails inspired by fashion from Paris Fashion Week, and I chose the designers Victor and Rolf from their spring 2015 collection, which was inspired by their Flower Bomb perfume. So if you would like to see what I created and how I did it, then keep on watching. Bye! Okay, let's get started. These are some of the pictures from the collection. I used the far right one. So what I loved about it is that it had an embroidery effect off the side of it that was just kind of free floating. So for this effect, I used Black Pool and the builder from Plexi Gel, and I just mixed it together and I started tracing on a piece of plastic. What I loved about adding the builder to it is that it kind of gave it a little bit more structure once I peeled it off and made it so it wasn't as flimsy as just regular gel polish. It also made the viscosity of the gel thicker, so this will be great if you're trying to do a 3D effect. Using some top coat, I attached it and then added some more lines in to finish the design. Not only did this design have 3D effects, but it also had a 2D flower print on the fabric, which I absolutely loved. And I used like 3 different methods to get the kind of design that they wanted on the fabric. So I just took some Black Pool and started drawing on the flowers. And for shading, I used Black Pool mixed within some top coat. And I used a flat angle brush and just wiped it on, and then going back with more top coat to kind of blend out the edges a little bit. Going in with my liner brush, I am still using Black Pool to draw in all of those tiny lines. As you can see, I'm dipping into that black polish a lot because I want to be able to keep my brush nice and thin, so I'm rolling it through the polish to maintain that pointy, sharp edge. Moving on to the next nail, I am creating some 3D flower petals to come off of the side of the nail, but not fully 3D, so it's kind of like 2D and 3D all in one. To create this effect, I'm using just liquid and powder. Because liquid and powder takes a little bit to set up, you can lay multiple flower petals down before you have to start picking them up to put onto the nail to form. Painting the flower petals to match the flowers on the nail, I'm actually using Vinyl X because the consistency of Vinyl X doesn't soak in to acrylic, kind of like gel does, if there's no base coat down, and I want to be able to keep that crisp line, so I'm using Vinyl X to paint on before I matte top coat it. Now this was probably the most challenging part of the whole thing, was creating this basket weave effect. So using the color Bellini and then also a layer of the Plexi Gel in Sculpt, I am cutting out little strips to create this basket weave. Now the time consuming part of this was pinning all of these down and then picking up each little piece by piece to slide a piece in, and then picking up the next row and sliding another piece in. I had to start taping down the tops and bottoms of the ones I was putting in so they didn't move when I was picking up the next ones. But overall, I think the effect turned out really, really cool. A great tip for when you're using smaller pieces and you're trying to be precise about it is using tweezers. I could not have done this if I did not grab my tweezers, because every little movement I made, it wanted to keep coming out. So the tweezers helped kind of push everything back in and just pick up the one pieces that I wanted to use. I went ahead and top coated the whole thing to keep everything together, and it still kept the basket weave look, and I just made sure I did it really super thin. So I laid down a layer of glue, and then using a piece of saran wrap, I just pressed it down really, really tight to get it to form to the nail, and then trimmed off the excess. Last but not least, for the thumbnail, I did a whole nail of 3D flowers, and I really wanted that 3D effect like on the left side of the dress. So while I was forming the flowers and letting them harden, I was holding the nail upside down so they didn't collapse back into the nail and lose the 3D effect, and I wanted it really exaggerated. So going back in again with the Vinyl X Black Pool, I am painting in all of the small details. Now I decided not to do the background with flat lines on the thumbs, but I added some of that embroidery pieces off the thumbs as well to give it a little bit more of a 3D effect. I loved doing these nails, and I hope you love them too. They're just so fun and eccentric. I love the texture of them, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye!